Dispatchers help callers on the worst days of their lives. For over 25 years, we've been there. A silent partner in millions of calls thanks to our redundant and diverse networks that ensure call delivery. Today, cities are bigger, traffic more congested, and the challenge is more complex. But you're never alone, because InDigital is quietly improving, implementing, and driving the next generation of 911, so you're supported in every situation. Make the switch at InDigital.net.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Yo, 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 what is going on? It's a new year, people. A new year. Whew. It is January 5th, 2025. I'm Ricardo Martinez with the Code 7 Podcast Network, as well as Within the Trenches Media, all the other good stuff. But welcome to Open Mic Live. This live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital, a leader next gen core services, and a big shout out to subscribers as always. Thank you for everything, and Happy New Year. It is 2025, and shit is crazy already. And depending on where you are at in the country, you are dealing with some cold ass weather. I know I am. But not as bad as some folks a little bit more south than where I'm at. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cold. Also, I chose the perfect time to shave off the beard because I've been going outside and running errands and everything else, and man, yeah, that thickness is not keeping me warm anymore, obviously, because now it's just like stubble. But welcome, and also stay warm out there. Looking over here on Instagram, Maine. Yes, some snow over there in Maine. Comp Center folks, what's up, bros? They said we talked about you and the books in our most recent show. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to check it out. Hell yeah. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see, Kay over here. New Year, same problems. Yep. That's right. Yep. Yeah. I hear you. Oh, man. Well, I don't have a lot planned for this evening, but what I do want to start out with is what we do usually. Chrissy, good evening. Hello. Welcome. How's everyone feeling? Just this first week into the new year, how are you doing? How are things going? Like I said, the world is already crazy, man. Stuff going on all over the place. The drones somehow just like disappeared. Weird fog in different places. It's like we're in a simulation or some crap. Like, what the hell is going on? You got stuff going on in Vegas. You got stuff going on, just all kinds of craziness. Like, huh? So, just in general, how are you doing? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome, how are you doing? But also, where are you at? Where are you watching from? Let's see over here. We've got Florida, we've got Maine, we've got Comm Center checking in at a 7. All right, that's good. I'm checking in at like about an 8, 8.5. I'm feeling pretty good. Jeff jumping in here, 6. All right, 6 is a good number. Snowy Cambridge, Ohio. I can just imagine. Yeah, we're not far. Our states are right next to each other. But depending on where you are at, oh man, I can only imagine how cold it is. Chrissy's saying, let's see, stuck with a stomach bug. Great start to 2025. You know, there are a lot of folks that started out the year sick. I know my siblings in Florida are not feeling that great, and my mom as well. Juliet, what's going on, my friend? Massachusetts at a 6.5. I can take that. I dig that. That's nice. That is excellent. Also from Florida over here, a cool 58. I'm down with that too. Like 58 is a good temperature for me being up north. I know like my sisters being in Central Florida at that that temperature. Nope, not having it. Keely, what is going on, my friend? Jumping in here. Let's see over here. Ard44, a 7 as well. This past holiday season was illnesses are running through our comm center. Ugh. Dude, I remember that shit. I remember whew, we can just start there. Like I said, I don't have a lot planned. I do have some audio clips that I want to play and stuff for some funny calls that we can go over and discuss. But let's start there. I remember that shit. I remember coming in to dispatch a couple times on midnight shift and going to the console where I was going to be relieving someone, and all I hear is and I'd be walking up and I would stop and I'd go, ugh. And I would look at the person and they'd go, I am sorry. I don't know what happened. It just hit out of nowhere. Sometimes someone who was on the other, the console next to them on phones would go, it was probably me. I'm sorry. And then I'd go, son of a bitch. Oh no, I don't want to get sick. Man. Oh, let's see. Keely says, ha ha ha. The amount of Lysol wipes we went through was staggering. I know. We were the same way. We would always laugh and joke that we should just take stock out in the companies. Let's see over here on Instagram. Ard444 says, all the airborne and emergency C. Yeah. Yeah, we would do the same thing. We would be passing that shit out. Like, does anybody got any airborne, man? Got to build that immune system. But the thing that sucks is that the amount of caffeine and sugar and everything that we were taking in, it didn't really do much because we're like screwing up our immune system either way. So it was inevitable that we were going to end up getting sick. There were a couple times though that I went through a few rounds of people getting sick in dispatch and I didn't get sick at all. But then when it did hit me, it was horrible, man. It was horrible. And you don't want to call in because you know what it's like. You know what it's like to have someone call in and you understand that they're sick, but you're the one who's there and you're like, oh, all right, we got this. It's all good. So then when it's your turn, you're like, damn it. Like I don't want to leave them like that, especially if you're short-staffed and everything else, but you have to do what you got to do. And yeah, rest if you can. Now, there were a few times where if it was like a midnight shift and it was winter and there really wasn't a lot going on, like believe it or not, there would be times where wintertime in Michigan, Southwest Michigan, we would have like blizzard-like weather. and there would be nothing going on for about 4 hours. Like, we would get, a few alarm calls here and there, but nothing. No medicals, no nothing that was going on because it was just everyone was actually staying home. Like, there really wasn't any, like, accidents or anything either that were going on. So, if someone was sick and they came in, we would just tell them, like, "Just kinda chill. Like, if we need you, we'll let you know. Just go ahead and go to the queue room." I won't say the actual word just in case there are people watching that are in dispatch right now. Um, and they would just chill. They would rest, and if we needed them, we would go and get them. And, it always ended up working out. So, it was cool that we were able to do that. I know some places, don't, because the call volume is, way crazy, or there isn't a lot of people, or maybe you're a single seat dispatch center and well, you're there by yourself. So if there's nothing going on, you can at least chill there, but you can't, just walk off. So let's see. Keely over here says, dude, someone sneezes 2 counties away and I'm laid out for a week. Oh yeah, for sure. And if somebody was like on the other side of my center, I would, and someone sneezed, would go, "Are you all right? Like, you're not getting sick, right?" And they'd go, "No." Like, it was just dust that got into my nose. I was like, "Okay, just making sure. Are you sure?" Because no one ever wants to get sick. You don't want it. It sucks when you get sick, man. And then especially if you're in dispatch. And I remember one time I was fighting something for a while. Like, it didn't fully hit, and I was going in, and because I thought it was just, I don't know, sinus issues or allergies or whatever, and my nose like started running. So I'm on the phone with like my headset, and I remember trying to talk to the person. Like, it was like a dog barking or something like that. It wasn't anything super high priority, but it was just me trying to talk to them. Like, okay, uh, so you're telling me like, like my nose was so stuffed that my voice was just like completely different, and I'm just like, because I'm on the call, like, I had tissue there, but I couldn't just blow my nose while I'm talking to the person, and it was draining so much. Like, I had it, and I kept, like, cleaning my nose and stuff, but, when it's, like, drippy, excuse me, and you're trying to talk, and you're trying to, like, make it go back into your nose, but it sounds gross, so you just I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one who has dealt with this. So while the person is talking and, like, starting from the beginning, like, the beginning of time, w I would hit the mute button, and I would quickly blow my nose as fast as I could, and, there and try to make it, or try to do it as fast as I could before, like, the person was done talking, and then it was my turn to respond. And I remember one time I didn't make it in time, and I'm like, like, trying to clean really, really fast, and the person had finished, and they're going, "Sir, are you there?" "Oh, sir?" And I hit the thing, I'm like, I'm here, I'm here. I heard everything you said. I apologize. I just my nose was running, and I had to blow my nose, and I didn't want to do that over the phone." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, no, there's something going around. Like, it's hit our house." And thank the Lord, man, that when some of that stuff would happen, that callers were sympathetic and everything, and and showing some empathy as well for the situation, because we've all been there, right? But I remember I remember that happening, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I gotta hurry. Oh man, the stuff that we go through on the phone, and it. Oh wait, the comm center over here says not my problem. So yeah, dude, for real. But I can't be the only one who's ever dealt with this. It's just like when you're trying to eat food, eat dinner at your console, and things are just going crazy. Like you can't just go and sit in the break room. You have to eat at your console, and you're trying to eat and trying to eat, and then you just end up getting to a point where you have to like go into squirrel mode, and it's just on the side while you're talking to somebody, and like trying to chew a little bit while you're going, hit the mute, chew really fast. Don't ever try eating steak when you're sitting at a console. That's probably the worst thing to try to eat, because you're chewing and trying to hurry up. Oh man. Keely says, like when you're trying to eat, but you can't breathe. Yes, I didn't even see your thing. We were right there. We were right there, dude. So when you're trying to breathe, so you chew with your mouth open. Amy, what is going on, Amy? Amy says, um, when the microwave beeps, the phone rings, it is a guarantee. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Or you have something in there, or sometimes we would have like popcorn, and we would have it in there, and you're like, oh, come on, hurry up, please. No calls, no calls. And then the phone rings, and they're like, Ricardo, Ricardo. And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to go. And there were a couple times where like people would hit the popcorn button, but our microwave was kind of old. So like the sensor wasn't working that well. And I shit you not, there were a few times where the phone would ring, and the person would have to run back to help us out. And then you hear whirr, whirr, like because it ended up burning. So then this metal, I don't, like a metal door, it drops, and then the fire department has to come back to reset it and put it up. And after a while, we had to just figure out like the perfect time, which I think was like 2.5 minutes for that one. And then it would be good to go. We would have the popcorn that we needed. Let's see. Jenny, what's going on? Jenny says, hey, or when you have that cough that only seems to get bad when your partner keys the mic so everyone hears the cough all over the district. Yes. Uh, oh yeah. Yeah. Because we would have our like NCIC console. It was right next to main law enforcement radios, and you'd be sitting there, and they'd go to key up, and it would be like right at that moment that you would have like this dry cough, and you're like covering your mouth, and you're just going which sometimes makes it worse, and your partner's like because they're trying to key up in between your coughs, so that oh my god. Oh, you guys are taking me back, man. Oh, for real. Com Center over here says a chicken biscuit. Yes, in the morning. Jeff says, I used to get so frustrated that I pushed my plate of food in the trash. Right? You're like, fuck it. I'm not even going to be able to eat. Whoosh. Oh man, you guys got me crying already. Oh, that is hilarious. Amy says, never trust the presets on a microwave. They are never right. Yeah, for sure. That's why I'm guessing that the majority of hotels, I don't know if you've paid attention, but a lot of the hotels no longer have microwaves in their rooms. Some of them do, but not all of them. Because I'm guessing that there were a lot of alarms that were going off because people were burning popcorn. Because as you all know, well, if you're in the general public, you may you may or may not know, but after a, a set of alarm calls, like the place of business will start getting charges. And I'm guessing that's why they took them out. I don't know that for sure. Okay. I don't know that for sure. But I'm guessing that is maybe one of the reasons that microwaves are out of rooms. I mean, probably electric bill is high too. I don't know. But I feel like it has to do with the microwave or the popcorn rather that people were burning that shit. But they're not in there anymore. I have been to a few conferences where I'm just like in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt and I want a bag of popcorn while I'm watching whatever it is before I crash out for the next morning. And my bitch ass has to go down into the lobby and use the microwave to pop a bag of popcorn. And people are coming back from having client dinners or, groups of dispatchers going out and having fun. They're like, hey, Ricardo. And I'm there looking all homely, waiting for my popcorn. But I don't give a shit because I love popcorn. I love me some popcorn. I don't care. Oh, man. Let's see. Keely says, ha ha ha. Yes, the sneeze and the MDT messages that say, bless you. Yeah. Steve, what's up, man? Steve says, we had an alarm go off at a hotel. Man was drunk, put frozen dinner in the microwave for 48 minutes and passed out. Bro. He's lucky that shit didn't explode or something. Like, your ass got burned for a pot pie, bitch? No. Like, just DoorDash something, damn it. Like, or have your sober friend or whoever put in the microwave and don't pass out. Oh man, what the hell. Again, you guys have taken me back with a lot of different things. Oh, that was always fun, man. That was always fun. And actually, really quick, Com Center over here on Instagram talking about chicken biscuit. I remember like someone would leave. Like if we had extra people, someone would leave and they would go to like whatever fast food to get some breakfast, and then they would come back and everyone would have their breakfast. But then it would get busy, and then by the time you got to it, you're like, this English muffin sandwich is now hard and cold and it sucks. Nope. Then you go to try to put it in the microwave and then it gets even worse. You're like, oh no. Maybe you were able to at least take down the hash brown, but also when it's cold, it's like you can taste like the grease and or the person that was going to pick it up wouldn't check the bag or anything, and they'd get back and they'd go, oh, dude, your sandwich isn't in here. And you're like, oh, bro, what am I going to eat now? I had some cool folks though. If something like that happened, like we would just cut it in half. We were like, dude, just take half of mine. Like it's all good. I mean, at least I would. I would always share because shit happens. It happens. Um, let's see. Keely says it's bold to think that person had sober friendships. You're taking a leap thinking there's a sober person with them. Amy and Keely on the same wavelength there about the person. The other thing that would suck too, though, would be when people are sick and someone comes in who was just sick and they're with a group and they're like, I don't want to get sick again. It was really bad. I don't want to get sick again. It it um it makes me think of the one time, this is years ago, the one time that I went to get my hold on. Steve says we got DoorDash now, but when the show uh phones goes nuts and you can't get outside to pick up food, gotta tip extra for the wait. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Um so the flu shot, they'd sent an email out to county employees and they're like, hey, if you guys want to send your folks over, they're doing them today and tomorrow, whatever. So there's a big group of us that were going one by one on this one day, and it was my turn. I'd never had it before or anything, but I went, and I'm sitting in a room of just a shit ton of older gentlemen and women that are there waiting patiently. Okay. And I'm sitting in the middle of everyone and I'm just waiting, just chilling, just waiting like everyone else. And one of the people that was there bringing others back to give the shots was a friend of mine. Actually, a friend of my mom's. I know her. We're friends anyway. But she went to school with my mom, and she saw me, and she comes back and she goes, Richie, are you working right now? Because she knew that I worked in dispatch. And I said, yeah. I said, I'm just waiting though. It'll be all right. And oh wait, Amy says flu shots suck this year. The ick has been strong here. Ricardo, you should dose on some vitamin C before you come to North Carolina. Oh, I definitely will. I every day, man, take me some elderberry and all kinds of good stuff. So I've been building that immune system. So I I'm sitting there and I said, yeah, I said, but I'm waiting. I'm all right. And she goes, no, I'll bring you to the back because I know that you've got you're in dispatch and you got stuff you got to do. And I said, okay. She goes, let me clear something up really quick and then I'll call you back. And I said, all right, cool. So I'm sitting there and then she calls me up and I stand up. And as I'm walking up, everyone in the room turns around and looks at me. And I'm just like, I'm going to get murdered. Because who knows how long those folks had been waiting, but I'm skipping in front of everyone. And they were not happy. And people were asking, and I don't remember what they said to him because I went to the back of the room, but I thought, man, as soon as I walk out, they're going to clock me with a cane or something. They're gonna get their walker and just some pro wrestling style, like, I'm like, ah. Oh man, yeah, that freaked me out. I was like, okay. So I go and I sit down, and they give me the shot and everything, and I said, "Is anything gonna happen?" They're like, "Nope, that's it." And I was like, "All right." Dude, within 20 minutes of me being back in dispatch, I got the most sick that I've ever been. And I got sent home. Luckily, there was only about an hour and a half left in my shift. So I got to leave, but and luckily I had a couple days off because I got super sick. I got messed up, man. It was pretty crazy. But it was also hilarious, but also I thought, is that karma because I cut in front of everyone? Oh man, but yeah. I definitely remember those days just going in hoping nobody was sick or that I was not going to get sick, that I wasn't going to catch anything, trying not to sneeze while on the phone as well. And I would be on the phone, I would have my headset and I would be talking and I could feel the tickle in my nostril. And so the sneeze, like it would be, the tickle would be here, and my headset mouthpiece is here. So people could probably hear the like me rubbing my nose, trying not to sneeze. Oh man. You learn how to get through things, especially when you're in dispatch. Oh man. Oh. You guys brought me back. We started right away. We just jumped right in. There were a few things that I needed to mention right off the bat. So let me just say this really quick. Episode 582 went out, and I had a shit ton of episodes that I put out. I think I put out about 7 or 8 last month because I had so many of them, and I still have a ton of episodes that are coming up. And so 582 went out. Episode 583 is going to be going out this week, and that is with Tanisha. And she is out of Cumberland County Regional Communications out in Maine. Excellent episode. Make sure to check that one out. I put a clip of that one out already. Have a couple more clips that are going to be coming, as well as some quotes from that episode. Getting back into the swing of things this last month or so, been just kind of taking it easy, And here it is. I talk about trying not to sneeze, and now, now one is coming on. Great, that's great. We'll see what happens. Amy over here says worst thing to have on the phone is hiccups. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever had hiccups while I was on the phone in dispatch. I can just imagine how much of a pain in the ass that would be, though, especially if you're trying to talk or if it's like a high priority one that's going on. And, oh, yeah, I don't think that's one that I ever dealt with unless I just don't remember it. But Amy also says trying to go through the questions while trying not to hiccup too loudly in their ear. Yes, exactly. So 583, that episode was actually recorded live in the vendor hall at the Atlantic APCO conference when I was out there in Portland, Maine. Such a good time, man. Such a good time out there with everybody. Tanisha was great. She had 2 months into this profession. 2 months. And she's gone through a lot already. The next episode 584 is going to be coming up. That's going to be going out to subscribers first, as always. They get an ad-free version, and then the following week is when it'll come out for everyone else. So next week it'll come out for everybody else, and that is with Scotty, same place, and that was a lot of fun too. Like all of it was great, and the episodes that I got to record there, the Imagine Listening sessions, it was excellent. So thank you all again out of Atlantic APCO for being there. I had so much fun with all of you. It was an excellent one. The Moxie, it really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. I mean, that the aftertaste of like Robitussin, but still, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I'm not going to be doing a sponsorship for it or anything like that, but but it wasn't that bad. I mean, my kids, they tried it, and they didn't like it, but I mean, it made for just a fun time for them to be able to try it and all. So that was good. 2025 just kicking off. A lot of things coming up. And next week already, I am going to be, well, not this coming week, the following week, I'm going to be back out in North Carolina. This partnership that I have with the North Carolina State 911 Board. I can't thank you all enough, and for the opportunity to go out there and to teach just all of it. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. So I'm going to be heading out to, this is going to be the week of the 13th. I'm going to be heading out to New Hanover County in North Carolina. I'll be doing my 8-hour communications course there. And then the following day, I'll be recording several episodes with the folks that are out there, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then I will be driving from there to the next county, and that's going to be Hendersonville. There's sheriff's department out there. And again, teaching and recording episodes, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you again to the State 911 Board there in North Carolina. Pokey, thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate you more than you know. This partnership has just been awesome since the beginning, and I look forward to all of it and continuing to be a lot of fun and just awesome. And another thing that I want to mention here before we go into some of the audio that I want to share, let me pull this up here really quick. Kablamo. All right. There we are. Excited for this one as well. So after my trip out to North Carolina, a few weeks later, actually on Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th through the 12th, I will be out in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Oh, yeah. So we go from the north to the south. And it's going to be a lot of fun. This will be the first Be the Difference conference that I have attended. And I'm going to be in booth 204. So if you are going to be there, I can't wait to see you. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm not going to be teaching or anything like that, but I will be there in the booth, and I'll be recording episodes with folks and just attending classes, spending time with the attendees and everything out there. So I look forward to seeing all of you there. Once again, this is for the 2025 Be the Difference conference that is put on by the Denise Amber Lee Foundation, as well as the Healthy Dispatcher, and it is going to be super fun. So again, if you're going to be there, I look forward to seeing you, and looking forward to just talking, chatting, networking, seeing old friends, meeting new friends, and just experiencing all of what this conference has to offer. So thank you to all of them for the invite, and I'm looking forward to it. All right. So along with everything that we've been talking about here and doing, I do have some audio that I want to play for you. I haven't edited any of this, so Lord help me. Okay. And you might have to turn your audio up just a little bit. Okay. Just a little bit, so that you can hear all of this. I usually throw a filter through it in order to get the audio, to go up a little more. So just, if you need to, just turn it up just a little bit. All right, hold on one moment here. It's not playing yet. So just in case you're like, is it playing? I don't hear nothing. I got to turn it up more. Just hold on. I will tell you, because I got to switch my audio over. Take off the mix minus into the main mix so that you can hear all of it as it is coming through. So here we go.
I have two. The first one's really short. I'm from Tennessee, in case you can't tell, and we're a very, very rural area. And one night, one of our other dispatchers is giving out a animal call in the behind the baseball concession stand. And the officer comes back and wants to know what kind of animal. And she keeps up and says, an armadillo. Armadillo.
Okay. Did you hear that? I want to, before I go further, I want to make sure you heard that. I don't want to repeat what she said. So let me know. I'll just wait for a second as and hopefully my mom is not watching after that one that just played. Oh man. All right. Well, we'll see if anybody posts anything in the comments that you heard what the person said, because that first one is a little bit lower. Oh, Liz says OMG LOL. So I'm guessing you heard it. Oh man. Yeah. What do you what do you do? Okay. So since you were able to hear it, we're gonna move on to the next one, because this person had two stories, and of course, no names are given or anything. There was on one of the stories, and I cut that off before I went live to play some of these. So no worries, because during this Imagine Listening and open mic session, people did say their names and where they were from, and I have to cut all of that out because I don't want anybody to feel like they're going to get in trouble or anything like that. So here we go.
The second one is we have a large Amish settlement in our community. That's one of the big tourist draws. They're old world. They have the buggies and the horses and the whole nine yards. In the middle of summer, they go to town in their buggies. They tie the horses off in the shopping centers and they do their shopping. I get a call from this lady who obviously has a different accent than I do, and she was tore up because it's hot. It's probably close to 100, and there's a horse standing in the middle of the parking lot, just standing there, tied. And it kind of clicks, and I said, "Is it tied to a buggy?" Yes, it is. They're from California. They had never seen anything like this before, and she is torn up because this horse is standing in the middle of this hot parking lot in 100 degrees. And I'm like, "Ma'am, it's a horse." That's what they do. They stand outside in the parking lot or on the grass or wherever when it's hot. She was adamant that I send an officer. She could still be sitting there because she didn't get one. The horse tied in a parking lot.
Thank you very much. Okay, so what about that right there? Hold on, let me push pause over here really quick. I turned it up a little more. I'm gonna put it back down to where it was, but I'll turn it back up when we go back to this. But how many of you listening right now have had something like that where people are from out of state, and like this one, they've never experienced that before, where there's like a horse that's just chilling. Because like here in Indiana, I don't live. I mean, I'm a bit away, but there's a town called Shipshewana, and it's all like Amish community and everything, and just nicest people, amazing food, and just a lot of the stuff that they have there. It's a really cool town, but it's horse and buggies like everywhere, and I can see where someone out of town would just like be what? Wait, what? Where am I? But that person wanted an officer. I think if anything, a lot of times, we'll just give it out over the air, or we'll just ask one of the sergeants to be like, this person really wants to talk to somebody. And they would always go, yeah, I'll call him. Sure, I'll call him really quick. But that was that one. All right, here we go. Let's play this next one here.
I was in law enforcement for about 40 years before I retired. And a dispatcher in a local community, the county dispatchers will know who it is, so I'm not going to mention it, was dispatching a fire call one night. It was a rather large fire in the center of town. And the way the story went was told to me by the police chief for this community, which I trust him, was this head dispatcher said over the radio, or this police chief arrived at the scene first and said, "This is a fully involved structure fire. You better do a second alarm." And the dispatcher over the radio said, "Would you like me to blow the whole town?" And police officer said, "That won't be necessary. You should probably send more firemen."
Oh man, that stuff happens. Oh, oh, Mark the Cop, what is going on, my friend? This is popping in over here on Instagram. That stuff happens. You end up saying something over the radio and you're not even paying attention to how you said something. And it is always fun when whoever's on the radio ends up keying up and like says something like that is just like on the ball, man, just straight up witty. And they hit you with one of those because then you realize like, oh no. But it happens. Like I remember being on the radio and one of my canine deputies was heading out to a call and it was written or it was typed in this way in the narrative. So I just simply read it the way it was in the narrative. But I wasn't really paying attention to how it was typed in. I just said what I said. Excuse me. And I ended up putting it out there. And at the end, it was like, Central Canine 4. Canine 4, go ahead. Just letting you know, the caller advised that when you get on scene, you can use her back door. And I unkeyed, like I wasn't even thinking about it, but my partners were laughing and excuse me. And the officer keys up and is like, "Central, can you 10-9?" And I said it again. Like, caller advise, you can use her back door. And the officer keys up and goes, "Copy that, Central. Use her back door when I'm 23 or something like that, 10-23." And it was at that moment that I realized, like, oh no. Because then then people are sending me MCT messages and my partners are just like, "Dude," I was like, I wasn't paying attention. It was like I was not paying attention at all. But sometimes that happens. It happens like that. Oh man. Liz over here said we'd have crop dusters swoop down over the highway and people would think it was a plane going down or that it was like a terrorist attack, but these are way better Want me to blow the whole town? Those are saved and passed on for years to come. Yeah. Yeah, like, I'm sure a lot of folks, those are on their, like, their, their greatest hits, basically. I know a lot of people who have had traffic, like, if they've said stuff like that, they've had it pulled, and then on their going away party when they're retiring or something, they end up playing some of those. Uh, oh, that is great. Let me see. I think I have just a couple more audio clips here. Yeah, I think I got 2 more here. So hold on. Let me play these.
This was not a call I was on duty for. Actually, I believe the gentleman next to me was on duty. I I actually got into work at 1800. The captain came down, asked to pull the recordings, and as we're listening, then the lieutenant comes in, and he wanted to verify something. So it was for an NBC, and the other captain came on and said, "Engine XYZ, can you shut down the road?" Well, the lieutenant comes back and repeats it and says, "Engine XYZ, shitting down the road."
See, that's another blunder right there. Instead of saying, like, shutting down the road, they said shitting down the road. It's like it's like when callers call up for a be on the lookout, and they're trying to say, like, the person's all over the road and they're driving erratically. Instead, they say driving erotically. So sometimes people would type it in that way. Caller advised vehicles driving erotically. Or the person says erratically, but the dispatcher taking the call types in erotically. And if you're one of those people who don't read the be on the lookout, oh, hold on a minute. Were you ever a trainer? Over here on Instagram, this person says, "Were you was I ever a trainer?" I did train. Um, yes, we were so short staffed. Like, I wasn't a CTO per se, but we were so short staffed that we had to, like, everyone had to be trainers. So yeah, for a short time, I was a trainer as well. And I honestly, I'm trying to remember some of the stuff that some of the folks that I work with, like, what they had. Um, but I do remember a few times with me being a trainer where, like, your stuff would happen, stuff was funny, or things that would happen that it wasn't exactly, like, funny. It was just something that happened that, because of my own, like, experience, I was able to use that experience to help one of my trainees on a call. So, excuse me. But I remember that a lot of people, especially when I was actually in training, they would tell us, oh, wait, hold on a minute. Well, we got somebody over here on Instagram saying, and anyone who listens to this can answer as well. Maybe you have something, whether you're on Instagram or if you're over here on the other side, Facebook, YouTube, X, or X, you can answer this as well. And then for the person who's asking the questions, we can help you out. So really quick, let me say this. Marco says, "Can we get a Go Lions? Go Lions!" I don't know what's going on, but go Lions. Let's see. Okay, so this person over here says, "I'm a CTO for my agency. How did you overcome someone who doesn't really seem to care? How can I make that light switch?" Okay, so I'm going to copy what you posted and I'm going to put it over here in this other spot as well, so that we can get more people to answer this. because I'm sure there are more folks who have dealt with this as well. Really quick over here on this side, Jeff on YouTube, who's watching there, says one of our dispatchers put out an EMS call as a PMS call. Again, there you go. Another thing that ends up happening. So here's the thing. I did have a time. I was a new supervisor as well. I was a new supervisor, and this person that I was working with at the time had been there for years, like years had been there. And this person, it wasn't so much that it didn't seem like they didn't care, right? But like they weren't really like wanting to help. Like some of the newer folks that were coming in, they were kind of just set in their ways, you know. And with your situation here, might be a little different, but maybe it can help out. But with that person specifically, it was the fact that the person really hadn't been like listened to. Like they would, you know, throw out ideas or have certain things that they would put out there, and people were just like, like whatever. So that kind of started to build on that person where they just kind of didn't really give a shit anymore. And it was really trying to remind them as well, like, what was it like for you in the beginning? You know, do you remember what it was like? Because some of those newer folks, that's what they're going through as well. And it was just in that conversation, just talking, actually listening to that person, listening to understand, not respond, that they actually kind of changed a little bit. And that alone flipped the switch for them to actually start thinking about certain things. And they started helping some of the newer folks. Like they actually started opening up. They started talking more. And like you could tell that the person was having a lot more fun as well. For other folks, like for folks who are just starting out and you're training them and they don't seem to really care. I mean, I guess I would start asking them as well, like, why are you here to begin with? And you know, not be shitty or anything, but just sit them down. Like when you're going over the DOR with them, why did you want to do this to begin with? Because who knows, maybe that person is like really going through some shit and they do need someone to talk to, and maybe they're just kind of shut down at the moment. But yeah, I would ask, I would try to ask, like, what, when you first started here, like what was your motivation? What was the inspiration for you to come into public safety, to be to do what we're doing now? You know, what was that? And see what they say. And if they don't say anything at all, then oh man, there's a little more going on than what we probably know. Like I need a little more context, because sometimes, you know, also you can ask some of the other CTOs or even some of the other coworkers of like, what have you seen or what have been some of the conversations? Because maybe that person is kind of latching on to a few others and have opened up, and they just haven't, you know, opened up to you yet. Over here. So Samantha is responding as well, saying that's a complex question. As a trainer, you can care deeply about your trainee, their success, growth, and achieving their goals in training, and you absolutely should. However, there's an individual. Oh, she must still be typing. So that's one portion of the response there. Here we go. However, there's an individual responsibility that falls on them. Yes, they must want to succeed. Here's what I'd suggest. Take the time to understand their why. That's what I was saying. Yes. What drives them? What inspires them? Yeah. All of this. This is where we end up using our dispatch powers on each other. The fact that we're empaths, and start questioning, like start asking, you know, just opening up that line of communication. Samantha over here also says everyone has a motivator. It could be the reason they started this journey or something they hope to accomplish. Help them connect the dots between that motivation and the importance of being personally invested in their training. They need to take ownership of their path forward. Your role is to guide, mentor, and coach them, but ultimately they must take responsibility too. Yes, agreed. Anybody over here on Facebook, YouTube, or X? I mean, you don't have to answer. I was just curious. So just throwing it out there. But that's Sam and I are kind of on the same. Like we're pretty much on the same page here, as just trying to talk to them about their reason. Like, why did you get it? Why were you in here to begin with? I'm sure there are a lot of different things. I won't get into too much detail, but the position wasn't what they applied for. It's about 2.5 months in, and there's just no urgency. We've had one or two critical incidents already. Well, yeah, like again, that's as Sam was saying, complex question, situation, especially if it wasn't what they applied for, but they continue to go through. I guess I would ask them also, like, what is your reason that you're continuing to stay here? Again, I mean, it goes back to the whole why, all of it as well. But I get it. And if you'd like, you can reach out to Sam as well here on I'm sorry, Sam. I'm like, you can reach out to her. You can reach out to either one of us, really, to try to help a little more because this is live, right? This is a whole public thing, like everybody can see it. But to get some more answers and maybe we can direct you to somebody else who can help even more so. Um, please do. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. So let's see. After those, I would try to explain the why there needs to be urgency because officer safety, of course. Yes, excellent. Yep. But there seems to always been an excuse. Yes. And thank you to Sam. Yes. Thank you. So please, yeah, you reach out to either one and see, Sam continues to say, "Oh, yes, the urgency is critical. There's no flexibility on that. They have to understand that this is a matter of your role in your, officer going to a home, their family at night, etc." And yeah, there's a lot that's going to go into that conversation. But bringing all of those things up, also asking like, why are you still, here then? Um, and really putting it out there as this is the reality of the situation. Also, this could potentially happen. Different scenarios and everything could spark, excuse me, from that reality of what could or could not happen in different scenarios and stuff to get them to really think about what it is that they want, but also that is needed going forward with everything that's going on because this is an important job, not just the people that are calling in but also those out there in the radio, just everybody in general. It is very, very important. Thank you for asking this question. I'm glad that we were able to get you some information as well. Sam goes on to say we can't control every factor, but we can control our urgency. If they cannot grasp that, and maybe this is not being their first choice of a profession, we are dealing with a different issue. True that. Awesome. Thank you, Sam. And thank you for that, Antwan. Something like that. Did I mess that up? It's a screen name on Instagram. But either way, thank you for bringing that up as well, and that we're able to talk and share in all of this because again, that's what open mic, all of this is about, is sharing funny stories, but also talking about different situations and everything within the profession. So thank you very much, and be interested to find out how the rest of that goes, and especially if the person ends up coming around and that light, that flip switches, and they're like, you know what, this is it. Because I think a lot of times there are a lot of folks that they end up getting into the profession because it's a stepping stone, because it's their way into fire, EMS, law enforcement, whichever. Excuse me. But what ends up happening with a lot of them sometimes is they end up staying in dispatch because they end up loving it. They might not right away, but there's a lot of times something that ends up happening, whether it's an incident in the center or a phone call, something that makes them realize I'm here, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Also, it's the way that we talk about our profession, what it is that we do, that this is a career. And with the amount of resources that are out there now and the people around them that want them to succeed, a lot of times that alone is the switch that's needed for that person to start caring, because they realize, hey, this might not be where I thought I was going to be or what I wanted to apply for, but this actually turned out to be way better than I ever thought. I'm not saying that will be the same for the specific person, but that does happen with a lot of folks where they've come in for that stepping stone. And then a position ends up coming up and they're like, I don't want to do it after all, because this is pretty badass. Like this is what it is. Because then they start to realize how important of a job or this profession in general is. Taking these calls, helping all of those folks out there. Yeah, they're not there face to face, but damn it, it is just the same amount of craziness that happens when it's with a voice and the amount of people that you want to help. And maybe that's all it is. Maybe all it is talking to that person and them realizing that, damn, I'm in a good spot. And again, it might not happen right away, but continuing, there might be a moment where they realize I'm in the right spot. I'm where I'm supposed to be. So there you have it. I hope that made sense. I don't know. Let's see. I've got one last audio clip that I want to play here, and then we will wrap up this first open mic for 2025.
And about 6 years ago, I had a call one night from a lady just screaming over the phone saying that her mom was face down in the bed, not breathing.
Okay, hold on a minute. There are some times that someone is sharing a call during the open mic portion of Imagine Listening, and everyone's like, wait, this is supposed to be the funny part. Are we supposed to laugh at this? This is one of those. I forgot. I forgot that that's how this clip starts. So I'm going to start it again. I promise you that it'll be all right. Okay. So, okay, here we go.
And about 6 years ago, I had a call one night from a lady just screaming over the phone saying that her mom was face down in the bed, not breathing. So I said, we have to initiate CPR. And she's like, I don't know if I can do it. I said, you got to try to flip her over. We'll try to get her on the ground. I don't know if I can do it. I said, don't worry about hurting her. And then she starts screaming for her brother, Anthony. I said, well, is he there with you? No, he's in the bathroom vomiting. I'm like, what is going on in this house? Like, she's screaming, trying to get her mom on the ground. God said, basically had her get her on the ground, screaming for Anthony. Anthony, no, he's throwing up in the bathroom. I'm like, what is going on in this house? So I went through CPR, did about 5 or 6 rounds. Sent the fire department there, sent my police officer there, sector car. He gets there, says he's going out. Not even 10 minutes later, he said, can I give you a signal too? Okay, yeah, call in. So he calls in and he goes, Dre, how did this call come over? And I said, well, she found her mom face down on the bed. She wasn't breathing. She wasn't responsive. I got her down on the ground. I did 6 rounds of CPR, and her brother was throwing up in the bathroom. And he goes, well, she's the only one in the house. And she's giving CPR to a quilt.
So that is the moment right there after all of that we end up finding out that it wasn't an actual person. There were no people there except for the caller in this call. Yeah. Sometimes people will share stories and it starts like that and you're just kind of like, and I'm just on stage. I don't know where this is going to go. But it turned out there was no person that they were doing CPR on, and there was no brother in the bathroom vomiting, and the caller was doing CPR on a quilt. You can't make this shit up, man. This actually happens. Whoa. And you can hear at the end everyone just like that sigh of relief laugh. What? Yeah. So far, after over all of these years that I've done open mic, responders have shown up to a house and have found a person doing CPR on, we'll just start with this one, a quilt. I had someone talk about CPR on a bird cage, CPR on a couch cushion. I think maybe a milk carton once. I'm trying to remember some of the other ones because I've been doing Imagine Listening and sessions in open mic for almost 9 years now. Like we're going on a decade. Holy moly. So there are all kinds of stories out there, but some of them start out like this and you're just like, I don't know what to do until it gets to the end. And there you have it. The person was doing CPR on a quilt. Sometimes people are taking calls from others that they're like, someone's breaking into the house. And no one is breaking in the house, but that person is the one who's doing all the sound effects, making all the noises, all the knocking and everything. And you're just like, whoa, that stuff happens. It definitely happens. So those are just a few clips from one of the Imagine Listening sessions that I'm going to be putting out there. And there are going to be some changes that are coming up where I've been talking about this for about a year now, or just over a year, where there is going to be a standalone Imagine Listening podcast. And that is going to be stories only. The interview part won't be in there. That will remain within the trenches, of course. But Imagine Listening will have its own. And it'll be stories. And it is going to be awesome. And I cannot wait to share more with you. Thank you all for joining me tonight for the first open mic of 2025. And this live broadcast has been sponsored by InDigital, a leader next gen core services. Shout outs to subscribers as always. If you have any comments, questions, you ever want to be a guest on the flagship show Within the Trenches, whether you are new to the profession, seasoned, or retired, I would love to share your story. I've been doing this for over a decade now, and it is my passion. I would love to share your story to literally millions around the world. Because when it comes to storytelling in 911, accept no substitutes. Oh, it has been awesome tonight. I love all of you. It has been so much fun. And I thank you for the support and just all of it. You made 2024 such an amazing year, and I cannot wait for this year and beyond because there's a lot of cool stuff coming, and I cannot wait to share it with you. Also, to be a guest on the show, you can either email me at wttpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that is wttpodcast@gmail.com. Or the easiest way to do this is to simply go to links.co/WTT podcast. And that's links with 2 i's.co/WTT podcast. You'll find everything there. My email, social media, where to follow, where to hear the latest episode of Within the Trenches podcast, as well as where to, there's a button there to schedule the episode. And also links so that you can pre-order book number 1, volume 1, my version of Imagine Listening. And it's on pre-order right now. Everywhere that you can buy a book, it is on pre-order, and it will launch February 16th, 2025. Yes, the anniversary of the very first 911 call that was received in Haleyville, Alabama. So you can also buy volume 2 of Imagine Listening, and podcast merch, dispatch merch, all of that is on that as well. So again, it's links with 2 i's.co/WTT podcast. You can see this on Facebook, YouTube, X, as well as Instagram, and a lot of the clips on TikTok as well as YouTube. So make sure to check all of that out there. And then you can listen 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in the next one.